Hi, welcome to day 20 of Getting to Know Yourself, Das Atzmacha. Pretty amazing that we're at the halfway mark. And if we look back at all the things we've covered and learned together, it's extraordinary. All the details that make us up. We're right now up to the part about thought. And I'm on page 120 of the book, if you have it, Getting to Know Yourself. How to uproot a negative thought. Okay, so yesterday we spoke about where our thoughts are, that's where we are, because we're not simply a body that doesn't move location from place to place. If we're thinking about, we said Yerushalayim and we're in Tel Aviv, then we're actually in Yerushalayim because our soul is there, and that's who we are. When a person knows that he is a neshama with a body as its garment, he identifies with his soul. Every evil thought will disturb his very eye. This is not a rhetorical statement. Evil thoughts will disturb him as much as a needle in his flesh. He will be incapable of hearing or thinking about it. But if one does not yet instinctively avoid evil thoughts because she has not fully internalized that she is a soul, she must become more self-aware. And we said, how do we do that? So yesterday, the past 24 hours, we set aside time and tried to just see what we were thinking. Is it a thought that was making us feel good, making us feel connected to others, connected to ourselves, connected to God, or was it a thought that made us feel disconnected or down or sad or depressed? If a good thought comes, she should acknowledge the good in it and inwardly connect to it. Similarly, if she sees an announcement in the paper that a certain organization is providing aid to ill people, the poor, or others who need it, she should note that they are offering kindness. She should reflect, do I identify with this or not? She should identify with it and connect to the good she read about that is now in her mind. It's the same with all examples of positive things, good deeds, good character, and good values. Anything good in the world that comes to mind should be noted as positive, and then she should connect to its truth and the goodness inherent in it. On the other hand, if one finds in herself a negative thought, and she is at the beginning of this avoda, of her avoda, the simple solution is to distract her mind from it. Since she has not yet worked on the subjugation and separation of evil, any negative notion she finds in her mind should be terminated. So the way to do it is bring a different thought in. I remember for a while I started noticing, oh yeah, I do have a lot of negative thoughts about myself. So what do I do about it? Because I could say to them, okay, I'm not you, I don't believe you, but it also helps to put a different thought in its place. So let's say somebody's, and this is actually there is a program out there. There are a lot of programs out there that deal with thoughts, but the point is that if a person is having a thought, okay, I'm such a loser, God forbid. So then the thought to put in its place would be something positive, like, I love myself and accept myself the way I am. And by the way, you're going to have to write this down on a piece of paper because it's going to be hard to remember a positive thought about yourself if you're so used to thinking a negative thought about yourself. So take a piece of paper, write a positive thought that's going to replace the negative thoughts about yourself if you're having negative thoughts about yourself. And that's your avoda. That's the work you're going to be doing to work with thoughts. And for each person, it's going to be different. And that's why really, aviva@aberman.net, just email me, and maybe I could help you come up with work that you can do for your thoughts. Okay, but once we go through the previous stages, right, we've gone through being able to observe that that action is not me, that feeling is not me, but it can express or block who I am. And then it becomes a little easier to realize, okay, that thought is not me. So when she observes a thought, she should consider, is it good or evil? If she identifies it as evil, ask, do I want to be like the content of that thought? No, but the thought puts me there. It connects me to there. And I don't want to connect to such people or such places. Therefore, I will now cut the thought out as with scissors. Now, like I said, it's not so easy to just cut a thought out with scissors. It's more easy to replace it with a positive thought. So, and I'm not saying that you should get into denial about things that happen to you and not deal with things that have happened to you and just say, oh no, that never happened. I don't want to be there. That's not a thought I want to attach myself to. There are things that happen in our lives that we have to deal with. That's what life is about. Elevating everything physical back to the spiritual. But in order to even get to that space, first you have to identify with who you really are, and then the work becomes clear. And then, so Rav Schwartz says here, once a person notices the negativity in the thought and notes that the thinking about it puts her in that place and perspective, then she can begin to consciously disconnect from that negative thought in whatever way feels right to her. So here in this picture here, I put, tell yourself a different story. So what does that mean? That means if you're having a thought that keeps playing in your head over and over, of course I can't make it because of all these things that happened to me. Or look at this is holding me back right now. Well, you could tell yourself a different story. You could say, okay, I'm going to learn the steps it takes to not be stuck in that space. I'm going to deal with those things that are keeping me stuck in that space so that I can move forward. I'm going to bring up a thought that is true, because these thoughts that are negative about myself are not true. Whatever it is, these are different examples. But just begin to notice that you have that power. Hashem is giving you that power to tell yourself a different story, to choose a different thought. All right, I hope this was clear. We will continue more tomorrow. Mirz Hashem. Have a great day.